The Esports Broadcasting Network brings you IndyCar racing. It's the Bravo Series from Sim Racer's Edge. Round number 3 from Silverstone. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight, joined with me by my partner in crime, co-founder of ESPN, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. And Sam, pretty much a home race for you here in, well, you know where we are. Yeah, we haven't done this in forever, man.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm here anyway, so we are ready to go racing. They're currently in the warm-up right now. Just going to go for the grid in just a second, but yeah, we're here for the Murray Walker Memorial. We're celebrating the life of one of our own, really. Well, actually, two of our own, because we lost another one recently as well.
Yeah, we lost Murray Walker a week ago and Sabine Schmidt earlier this week. So, two giant holes in the, I use the term loosely, but in the racing fraternity, as it's just one big family around the world of gearheads, petrol heads, motor heads, whatever you want to refer to us as. We lost two of our own. Murray Walker, one of the most accomplished voices in the history of motorsport ever, and Sabine Schmidt, who herself was a great presenter on both television and some radio broadcasts, and just an amazing shoe behind the wheel. They called her the queen of the ring for good reason. One of the very few people that could lap the Nürburgring Nordschleife in under 9 minutes. As a matter of fact, she did it in a Ford Transit van, a diesel Ford Transit van at that. So, definitely two major losses in the past 7 days. But we celebrate their lives tonight as warm-up's starting to come to an end. Let's take a quick look at the starting grid as they're going to be going from a standing start tonight. Scott Ramler sitting up on point tonight. He's going to be joined on the front row with Bentley Glazer. Jose Miguel Phillips. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the fourth name on that one. Vigara,
or whatever, yeah.
He's going to be joined with Kevin O'Brien in row number 2, Tony Phillips and Yari Braupatcher in row 3. Row 4 brings us to Will Fletcher and Jeff Hollingsworth. Bruce Rivers, Mark McFadden in row 5. Row 6 sees Byron Rodney making his first start with Shane Loveridge, Jackson Bell, and Tyler Bloom in row 7. Row 8 goes to Carl Burke and Charles Woods, and Timmy Bates starting shotgun on the field in 17th. Dan Brazington up in the race control booth tonight. So 17 cars scheduled to roll off, 42 laps of scheduled distance. Let the games begin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and as we got 15... Actually, we've got a few cars. Actually, 3 cars starting from pit road as we're ready to go racing. And Tony, bring us to the green.
As the green flag comes out, Ramler pulls the trigger as Glazer gets a better start. Drag race into turn 1. Side by side they go. Glazer keeps his foot in it. Fresh tires, and they're both on the black compound tonight. As we've got a few cars taking the wide route. New paint scheme for Glazer as the field starts to get its way worked out. As I'm sorry, that was Ramler that did get the better start in the green Quaker State car. New paint schemes tonight. Do bear with us, folks. I do apologize as my live timing and scoring is not giving me any help at this point in time. But pole sitter. Scott Ramler, Bentley Glazer, and Jose Vigara running 1, 2, 3. Tony Phillips right there battling it out with Yari Braupatcher. That is for your 4th spot. And then we're a little bit back to Jeff Hollingsworth as he seems to be struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of incidents right there at the start. Bruce Rivers getting involved with somebody there. I think it might have been Tyler Bloom. Not really entirely sure. Let me just gonna double check there. It might have been somebody anyway. Went off at the start, but yeah, Ramler doing what he normally does in the Alpha Series, just streaking away from the field right now. Glazer in second, Phillips in third, Viguera in fourth, doing really well, and Jackson Bell, who's been impressing everybody lately, running out your top five.
So Phillips getting a better start than Viguera at the initial hit of the green here. And let's see if timing and scoring is going to work with me here, as we've got a battle brewing right now. That is Jackson Bell up into the number 5 spot after starting 13th, not taking time in the qualifying session. Works to the inside of Viguera, as here comes Yari Brupatcher as well.
Yeah, Brupatcher currently leading the points coming into tonight, so he's going to be looking for another good result here tonight, as he's going to look to the inside of Viguera. Viguera going to hold him off for now, as everything just starting to settle down very quickly right now, as Bruce Rivers is currently in pit road.
And Rivers looks like he may have had contact with somebody. Possibly Will Fletcher. Yeah,
Will Fletcher is gone from the session, so he's out. They had a bit of a coming together coming through Maggots and Beckett's, so their race looks like to be done already. As already, Bentley Glazer is out to a 2.3 second lead over Bentley Glazer. That's a pretty impressive start already.
Yeah, Ramler is just on point right now. The only car to go sub 1 minute 30 seconds in the hot lap session and in the qualifying session went 1 minute 28 seconds in the qualifying session. So actually picked up half a second over his hot lap session time with no drafting help, and I'm not sure if these guys were able to use push to pass in the qualifying session or not, and it looks like Rivers is calling it a night as well.
Yeah, he literally just come out of pit road and binned it, going through Maggots and Beckett's again, so tough start for Bruce Rivers, is actually making his debut here tonight, so unfortunately his night's going to come to an end early, as we've got a battle really heating up here between Jackson Bell, Tony Phillips and Jose Viguera.
Yeah, those guys seem to be in lockstep right now, kind of throw a blanket over them. And then lurking in the background is Jaws himself, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. Admittedly not a road course specialist, but able to hold his own.
Problems for Glazer. Sorry to cut you off there, Tony.
Yeah, Glazer just had a big moment.
Yeah, he spun it coming out of what is now known as the final turn of the modern track, but got it all wrong going through there. And now he's fallen down to third place, as Jackson Bell now inherits second place. And speaking of Jackson Bell, we know exactly how good he can be on a road course, as we saw at Daytona a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely, as long as he doesn't have one of those curbs come out and bite him like he did at Daytona. Doesn't have to worry so much about the straight line speed as he did here, but definitely has a lot of road racing prowess. There's a lot of drivers right now that I'm expecting to see really kind of turn the wick up as this race wears on. As right now, Scott Ramler, almost 8 full seconds to the good, and we are only working lap 4.
Yeah, so this is going to be pretty much a... unless he has a big mistake here, it's going to be pretty much plain sailing for Ramler. We've seen before, as I've already mentioned, what he can do on a road course. It's just a shame that Nate Siefka couldn't make it tonight, because that would have really been an interesting race.
I was about to say, where's Nate Siefka when you need him?
Yeah.
It looks like Mark McFadden having a little bit of problems. Jeff Hollingsworth gets it all wrong. He gets that pointed back in the right direction and back underway, as it looks like he dropped a spot to Kevin O'Brien, having looped it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very tricky course, this one, and he lost it actually before the first chicane, so coming out of Stowe. So interesting there is he is now currently in a battle with, I believe that's Byron Rodney that's next to it, that's right behind him.
That would be Byron Rodney right there with him, about 3 car lengths back. and Byron's got Shane Loveridge right with him. So that is your battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th that we're able to see right now. A little bit weird weather conditions right now, Sam. The sim is showing that it's the middle of May, 69-degree ambient air temperature. However, the track temperature is 88 degrees and dropping, as we do have some cloud cover right now. 3-mile-an-hour headwind down the front stretch. And for England, relatively low humidity, only 26%. So, these engines are able to make gobs of horsepower. But with that nearly 90-degree track temperature, these guys are having a little bit of a problem getting the power to the track.
And the Glazer back up to second again. He's managed to get back around Jackson Bell, who I believe has had an issue somewhere. Yes, he has. Let's go back and take a look on a replay. And we lost it coming through the club section of the track.
And so did Rivera. Got it all wrong right after that too. So you can't tell me that Glazer's not pushing that car, as he was twitchy coming onto the front stretch. So I mean, he's trying to, Bell is not pushing that car. He's trying to wring every little ounce of horsepower he can out of that thing, as Loveridge closes in on the backside of Rodney as Rodney goes around.
Byron Rodney losing it, going through the final few corners of the track, and almost exactly the same point where Jackson Bell lost his car. Gets it pointed in the right direction, and he's no damage, but that's going to hurt his ego a little bit.
And Loveridge was luckily just far enough back that he didn't get into that, because that would have definitely ended his night very quickly.
Yeah, that was a very scary moment for Shane Loveridge, and I'm pretty sure he's going to need a new fire suit when he goes through his first pit stop of the night.
Absolutely. As Jackson Bell gets by Tony Phillips coming through that same section. So Bell trying to make his way back up. Bentley Glazer right now, 12 seconds off of your leader, Scott Ramler, and 2.5 seconds to the good over Jackson Bell. So Bell's got a big hill to climb right now, but we've seen him do it before. Tony Phillips doing everything he can to try to stay with him. Phillips, arguably not a road racing specialist, but able to hold his own here tonight. Pretty impressive times during the warm-up and the practice and the hot lap session. So, I mean, it's a road race. It's kind of what we expected to see for the most part. There's the haves and the have-nots as far as road racing goes in iRacing, and we're kind of seeing that right now as far as turning right and turning left. It's not in everyone's wheelhouse.
No, it's not, but Jackson Bell's still trying to stay with Bentley Glazer. Viguera has fallen back ever so slightly. Just a minute ago, we saw another spin happen for Byron Rodney. This time coming through Maggots and Beckett's. But as he came off Beckett's and going onto the Hangar Straight, he lost the back end of the car, and that's usually showing that your tires are pretty whooped.
Too hard.
Yeah, pretty much. As he's coming through there again, and he's catching up to the back of Mark McFadden. And Rodney's usually a pretty capable road course driver as well.
He's one of those drivers that he normally doesn't have a lot of speed, but he will bring the car home in one piece. Now, I say that after what happened the last time I spotted for him at Spa as well, but I digress. That really wasn't his fault. That was an ISP problem.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
As he's making his way through the final part of this track. He's right on the tail of Mark McFadden now as they come through the right-hander just after the... we're coming up to the second chicane now as they leave the what would be the new part of the track now and onto the old part of the track. And Rodney looking punchy there as we've had a problem for Yari Brupatcher. And he lost it going into the final corner. Oh, coming out of the final corner, I apologize. Oh.
Bet he did, and he's got Tony Phillips all over him right now. This is one of those tracks that, as far as Yari's skill set goes, you would kind of expect him to be one of your top 5 as far as when this all shakes out. He's shown a lot of prowess on the road courses in the past. I wouldn't expect anything less from him right now. Same thing goes for Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien, he says he's not a great road racer, but that kid from Australia knows how to wheel a car right and left.
He's rocking a Formula 1 paint scheme, so that's all I'm going to say about that.
No comment?
No comment at all. He's running a Sauber paint scheme. Oh, as we've seen smoke in the distance, I wonder if that's a problem for Figueira, and it might have been because he was seeing a lot of tyre smoke there going through that final part of the track. Still managed to stay ahead of Kevin O'Brien, though.
A little bit of wheel lockup.
Ah, okay.
I just went back and looked. But
yeah, it's,
Jackson Bell, Scott Ramler, I think may have, for lack of a better term, taken his foot off the gas, or he had a problem because Jackson Bell just bit 7 seconds out of the lead that Ramler had.
I'm thinking he's taking his foot off the pedal because I'm looking at my my screen here, my screen where it shows all the incidents going on, and he hasn't had a spin or anything like that, or hasn't gone off track, so he's taking his foot off the pedal. He wants to make it a bit more interesting, I think. He's toying with these guys.
It sounds about right. As Byron Rodney's gotten by Mark McFadden, now starts to reel in Tyler Bloom. Bloom has had just boatloads of issues tonight. There's been more times than not that I've seen him mow the lawn with the under tray of that car during the hot lap session, during the qualifying session. He didn't even get a clean qualifying run in. That's how just off he's been tonight.
Yeah, and he's a driver that's been improving all the time, and obviously had a good start to the Bravo series, but not doing so well on the road courses, and that's what this league's about. It's about challenging drivers everywhere. Obviously, Bravo uses the free content more often than not, but still very challenging nonetheless. I mean, the next road course I believe Bravo go to is Laguna Seca, and that's going to be an interesting track all by itself.
You get your cameras ready for that one, folks. As I'm kind of looking down through the licensing of the different drivers that are on track right now. Tyler Bloom, the only one still listed as a road racing rookie. So for him to be able to hold his own against A-class drivers in front of him and behind him, that's nothing short of impressive.
Yes, this is the closest battle out on track right now between Byron Rodney and Tyler Bloom and Mark McFadden. He's not exactly out of this thing just yet. And this is your battle for P10 right now. So the last spot in the top 10, they're a good 25 seconds off the back of Shane Loveridge. So Loveridge having a pretty lonely race so far tonight.
Loveridge is doing what I like to call, he's found his spot and he's hiding. He's just trying to bring the car home in one piece, survive tonight, get the points, and move on to next week.
Yeah, and he's doing the right way about it. He's not really made a mistake. Speaking of mistakes, though, Tyler Bloom's made a mistake.
That corner has had nothing but problems for him all night long.
Yeah, went in there a bit too hot this time, though. Trying to obviously defend from Byron Rodney. Just outbraked himself and just got it all wrong. But hopefully he figures that corner out as the race goes on. But Byron Rodney now in the top 10, so not too bad after all the mistakes he's made here tonight. Speaking of Shane Loveridge, He's not the only Aussie in the field. Kevin O'Brien, we can't really say he's the only Aussie in the league anymore because obviously Shane Loveridge is here now. He's Australian as well.
True stories. We got a battle for 6 really heating up as Jari Brupatcher making it the hard way, going around the outside of Tony Phillips. Phillips had the line going into the right-hander, and Brupatcher just kept his foot in it and drove right around the outside of him.
And we're going to take a look there, and as they come out of into that final section of that section of the course, and a great pass there by Brupatcher. Move his way up to P6. Figueira, he's impressing me pretty much here tonight. He's not doing too bad for himself as he's.
Oh! We got one on its lid.
And let's take another look there as it's between Brupatcher and Phillips. Brupatcher lost it. And it was Phillips that ended up on his lid. Manages to write it back up, and Mark McFadden's had an issue as well, so issues happening everywhere. Take a look and see what happened to McFadden.
There is a ton of damage on Phillips' car as he just came out in front of Shane Loveridge and Jeff Hollingsworth. Luckily, both of those guys able to get by him cleanly.
Yeah, that's a shame for Phillips. He does have a fast repair, though, so he can go in and take that and get back out again, but it's going to put him off sequence when it comes to pit stops, though. And the issue with McFadden, he came up to the first chicane and just lost the back end of it. And we've got another incident there for Tyler Bloom. Coming through the final section of the track as he's going for that slower like left-hander.
Bloom and McFadden both got into it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, McFadden spun it to stay off of Bloom. That's what happened. So heads up driving by Mark McFadden to not add injury to insult. And your leader is in the pits as Jackson Bell inherits the lead. So Rambler, the first one to blink, working lap 13. So Jackson Bell inherits the lead, gonna stretch that out as far as he can. Bentley Glazer taking tires finally. So 13 laps in, we've got green flag pit stops already underway as Kevin O'Brien flashes by.
This battle between Figueira and O'Brien really kicking off now.
Very much so. That is your battle for second, right in front of Scott Rambler, who is on fresh tires and a fresh boat of fuel. I would expect to see Figueira and O'Brien to bring it pit side within the next couple of laps as O'Brien throws it to the inside. Figueira tries to defend, going the long way around, keeps his foot in it, keeps the momentum up as O'Brien's going to have to back off. Now he's got to worry about Rambler coming up on him like a freight train as Shane Loveridge brings it to the pits. And O'Brien just yields way to Rambler.
And it's like, yeah, you carry on with your race, I'm just going to carry on with mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bell is in pit road, so Bell looking for the... He was within undercut range, was Jackson Bell. That's how much Rambler was backing off. As Figueira's had an incident.
He just got punted by Rambler.
Oh, wow. I wonder if there might be a penalty for that one as Bell in pit road is down off the jacks again. But it might be too little too late as here comes Rambler down through the start-finish straight and in towards Cops. And Bell is not out of pit road yet. It's just coming out now. I wondered if Rambler might have damage from that hit from Figueira.
That's a good possibility. Possibly some front end damage. Yep, looks like there's a crinkle in the front wing of that Quaker State number 61. So that could affect the handling of this car because he's not walking away from Kevin O'Brien like he had been. As Hollingsworth brings it pit side, as does Jari Brupatcher. So looks like 13 to 15 laps going to be the pit window tonight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Hollandsworth losing it on pit exit.
Cold tires to blame for that one.
Yeah, Brapatcher kind of had to bring it in pit road. It was like he had literally had body parts falling off his car. So after that collision with Tony Phillips, but he's back out in P10. Meanwhile, Byron Rodney carries on. I don't know if he's taking it down pit road yet, but he's up into P6 now. So good recovery so far by the 75.
And Rambler just spun it.
Oh no.
And that just handed the lead of the race back over to Kevin O'Brien. Rambler coming pit side to get some damage fixed. And O'Brien stays out.
Yeah, O'Brien does stay out. Vigera comes in. Now, Rambler possibly going to repair that damage on the front of his car. And he will.
Way off sequence.
Yeah, and he's going to put him way back as well. And he's off the jacks and he's not going anywhere.
Race control may have held him.
Yeah, they may have done 10-second hold for Rambler. As we go back to the leader, Kevin O'Brien, who when he does take it down pit road won't be the leader for long, because look who's right behind him, Tony. Jackson Bell is right there.
2.5 seconds back is Jackson Bell in the Black Beauty number 25. And you see him starting to just with the fresher tires, he's reeling O'Brien in hand over fist right now, as he's already dug a full second out of O'Brien's lead.
That he has, as they come through the final corner and expect O'Brien to bring it down pit road this time. He blinks out, so I don't know where he's gone.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's in pit road. There he is.
There he goes.
Jackson Bell taking over the lead now, so and he's got quite a gap over Rambler now, so this is really fallen in Bell's lap now.
Well, you figure Kevin O'Brien going down pit road was 4.5 seconds back. Lee Glazer, who just inherited second place, 16.5 seconds off your leader, Jackson Bell. Then you're another 40-plus seconds back to Scott Rambler. So that contact with Vigera, that really cost Rambler a lot.
Kevin O'Brien's been in pit road for a very, very long time. He must have got a speeding penalty going in, because he is being held by an extremely amount of time as Shane Loveridge goes for a ride for the Kitty Lair.
8 miles an hour over at the cone.
And he was having such a good run as well. That is such a letdown for O'Brien, who was really taking it to the leaders, actually. I was actually very impressed by how he was running, as here comes Tony Phillips and Yari Brapatcher. And oh, God. As, oh, they collide again! Oh, no, this is a disaster for both of them, and O'Brien involved. And big problems there for everybody else. Sorry, Tony, my TeamSpeak crashed, so...
Well, Kevin O'Brien and Yari Brapatcher got into it as O'Brien was on his outlap, and O'Brien has just put it on the hauler.
And that is a shame for O'Brien. Having such a great run, and Brapatcher just... I mean, that's the second collision we've seen Brapatcher in. Obviously, he was trying to take his line. You see Phillips right there. And, yeah, Brapatcher just cut across him going through Maggots and Beckett. So, Brapatcher driving on the edge there, and it's coming back to bite. And Byron Rodney's had an issue as well now. We're not showing you much racing here. We're just showing you lots of crashing.
Well, there's a reason why this track is one of the jewels on the Formula One calendar.
Yeah.
It's not an easy track to get around.
That it is not, as we are looking at Jackson Bell. He's out to a 17-second lead over Bentley Glazer, but Bentley Glazer himself out to a 24-second lead over Ramler. So Ramler back up in the podium spots, but he is so far back, it's unreal.
Hey Sam, what should I give him for a penalty?
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to play the fuel mileage strategy here if he's going to try to make any progress on Glazer and Bell.
That's the second.
As this field getting more strung out than a methadone clinic right now. Your closest battle on track is between Shane Loveridge and Tony Phillips, your battle for second, and there's a 4-second gap between the two of them. Let me say that again. A 4-second gap is the closest battle on track.
Yeah, it's that close. Not really.
4 seconds at 155 miles an hour is...
Bell's had an issue. We've had an issue for Jackson Bell. Sorry to cut you off, Tony. The leaders had a pretty big issue there coming into the second chicane. And he just lost it coming out of it, and thankfully didn't hit anything, but that's going to cost him a lot of time in his lead.
Caught a little too much curb and lost a full 8 seconds out of his lead there. Bentley Glazer still 10.5 seconds back.
Bell's still getting out of shape even after that, so Bell
He might have some under tray damage.
Might do, but he needs to kind of calm down now. He's got a very healthy lead with another set of pit stops left to go, so just needs to relax and make sure he gets to that checker flag in one piece. Finally get a win out of this.
Absolutely. And while we do have a little bit of a lull in the action right now, we do need to thank our good friends over at Turn Racing for helping you bring you the coverage here tonight. Turn Racing is merging the world of sim sport and real world of motorsport to bring you high quality sim peripherals for your sim racing rig at a reasonable cost. We have to thank them. Without them, the Sim Racers Edge family of racing would not be possible. So thank you to them. Thank you to our friends over at Rocket Setups. For all your setup needs, Rocket Setup is who you need to get in contact with for great setups and setup tips at a reasonable cost. And our very good friends over at Diecast Nuts. Whether you want to buy, sell, trade, share, or just brag about your diecast collection, diecastnuts.com is where you want to go. That's nuts with a Z.
Yeah, all good people that are on board with this, with the league and with the channel as well. And I was just conferring with Race Control there. Apparently they are going to be handing Jari Brupach a penalty for that because it's the second collision he's caused here tonight.
Unfortunately, that's not going to do a lot for Kevin O'Brien, who has already left the building. But yeah, Brupach was expecting a little bit more out of his own performance tonight than he was able to show on track, and the frustration level is definitely showing for the driver of the number 89.
And we're just seeing more incidents happen here for Byron Romney. He goes for a spin through the first chicane, so he's another one that's having a few problems through that first chicane.
And it looks like Hollingsworth's been back down pit road.
That he has, but still up in the top 5 though, not doing too shabby there. The lead driver for OGR, old guys rule apparently. So,
and again, a self-proclaimed non-road racing specialist.
Yeah, well, everybody else has kind of stepped on their own junk around him, so it's kind of expected. But no, I'm not going to take it away from him.
That's the thing. You know, Hollingsworth's one of those guys that you can put him in just about anything, and he's going to bring the car home in one piece, and sometimes that's half the battle.
Yeah, that's true. As Hollingsworth making his way through Stowe, and down towards the first chicane, and he's got a good 11-second lead over Tony Phillips. Now, Phillips has had a problem somewhere because obviously he was fighting well within that top 5 for the longest time and has dropped well back. And he's a good 4 seconds ahead of Shane Loveridge, who's making a good recovery drive ahead of Jari Brupatcher, who I believe was just taking his penalty.
Looks like they gave him a pass-through.
That's okay. It's not as bad as a hold, so he got lucky there for the 2 collisions he's been in. Usually in SRE, as there goes Phillips for a spin. It wasn't Phillips that went for a spin. Who was that? That was Glazer who spun. Big spin for Bentley Glazer, and that's going to put him back even further. So Jackson Bell given a lifeline, but that's let Ramler get closer to Glazer now.
Absolutely, it's Hollingsworth's, or no, that was Brupatcher that flashed by. But that was one of those sections of track that's been giving everybody problems all night long, and it's where the track kind of undulates elevation, and these cars are so ground effect driven that you get the least little bit of air underneath the car and you lose half the downforce.
Yeah, pretty much. As he's back up and running again, he probably doesn't want to make that mistake for a lot too more often. As now Ramler, after that spin, has taken 10 seconds off of Bentley Glazer, and now the gap is just 13.9 seconds now.
So Jackson Bell with a 20 and a half second lead over Bentley Glazer, who's 14 seconds to the good, 13 and a half seconds now over Scott Ramler, who's another 26 seconds up the road from Jose Miguel Phillips Figuera, who is 9.5 seconds up the road from Jeff Hollingsworth, who's 11 seconds over Tony Phillips. Shane Loveridge is another 4.5 seconds back. Jari Brupatcher, first car 1 lap down, 24 seconds back from Loveridge. Then Byron Rodney, Mark McFadden rounding out your top 10, and Tyler Bloom 2 laps down.
Really is like Formula One with all the gaps.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So Murray Walker,
similar size field, about this late during the race too.
Yeah, pretty much. That's,
the thing is, we didn't have a massive pileup going into turn 1 like most Formula One races I've seen lately.
True. Carl Burke, Charles Woods, and Dan Brazen and Tim Bates. Obviously, Dan Brazen up into the race control booth. Carl Burke, Charles Woods, and Tim Bates not taking the green here today. So, tonight, sorry. So they will not score points, unfortunately, because in this league they don't score your points for not starting.
As you should.
Yeah. No show-up points or provisionals here, so...
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah. That's, my screen is full of red and yellow right now of people that have gone off track or crashed. Mostly, Byron Rodney's had a couple of incidents. Yari's been in pit road and come back out again. Tyler Bloom has been off. Mike McFadden's been off. And that's about it. Mainly Tyler Bloom and Mark McFadden who's had the issues in the last few minutes. But McFadden still holding on to the last spot in the top 10.
See, I'm being as this is a special race in memory of the late Murray Walker. I'm going to put you on the spot because you're a longtime Formula One fan.
Yeah.
Favorite Murray Walker story?
Favorite Murray Walker story was when he got emotional when Damon Hill won the 1996 World Championship, when he said the famous words, "And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat."
Absolutely. One of the proudest moments for England at the time, with Damon Hill becoming a second generation driver to win the Formula One Drivers' Championship. Just an amazing drive that season.
Yeah, it was, and the reason why Murray got emotional that day was because he was in the booth when Damon's father Graham was driving, and Murray pretty much saw was around Damon when Damon was growing up, when Damon started out in motorsport, which was actually on 2 wheels, not on 4. So, and which Murray Walker was an avid bikes fan anyway, so he saw Damon Hill go through that before he switched over to 4 wheels. So it was kind of like treated him like a son.
His own son.
Yeah, pretty much. And to see Damon win the championship just like he saw his father do it 30 years previous was pretty special for him.
Absolutely. And you know, when you have such a storied career like Murray had, you know, the man was the voice of Formula One for so many years. You know, there were so many generations of racing fans who grew up, even over here in the States, you know, you knew who Murray Walker was.
Well, he actually commentated on an IndyCar race once.
Yes, he did. More than once.
Ramler's in pit road again for his 3rd stop for the night. So Ramler really not on sequence with his pit stops here tonight, Tony.
He may have caught one of those larger curbs as he was trying to push to reel in Bentley Glazer. But well, it looks like a standard stop, 7.5 in the box. So a little bit off sequence, but not necessarily to fix damage, because you would expect him to be a little bit longer in the box itself if there was damage on that car. As right now,
Jackson Bell's in.
Jackson Bell bringing it pit side, as Glazer working by the lap car of Tyler Bloom. So Glazer kind of on an island all by himself right now. He's as long as he doesn't step on his own junk, he's pretty much guaranteed a podium finish.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of where our top 3 are right now. Is Jackson Bell with a 26-second advantage over Glazer, and then Rambler is another 35 seconds behind, and then you're almost 12 seconds back to Jose Vergara, as he sits in the number 4 slot, 9 seconds to the good over Jeff Hollingsworth. So your top 5 pretty much locked in, provided something doesn't go horribly wrong for any of them right now.
Yeah, and the gaps are pretty large as well. Ramler enjoying a 13-second lead over Vergara. Bentley Glazer enjoying... Oh, as Glazer almost loses it. Coming through the right-hander just there, coming onto the hanger straight. That's a scary moment, but he's only 3.7, well, 3.5 seconds ahead of Ramler now. We might actually have a battle in this thing now.
That's a good possibility. Rambler looks like he might have gotten the undercut on Glazer.
Yeah, got ever so close there. It was, there goes Ramler coming through the first chicane. Well, there goes Glazer going for the first chicane. And Jackson Bell has had an incident as well.
Oh, no.
Coming under the bridge and going into the right-hander. And we saw him have an issue here earlier on in the race, and he did it again. Went straight on and into the barrier pretty hard as well.
He's going to have to burn his fast repair because he is missing the side pod on the 25 right now.
That he is, and he is going to have to bring that in and get that repaired. But the good advantage for him is that he can come in and he can bring it in, burn that fast repair, and probably get out again just ahead of Glazer, because there was a good 30 seconds between the two before he went into pit road. So no harm, no foul there.
Well, we're about to find out.
Oh, there is.
He just got into his spot. Did not get tires or anything. And there goes Glazer flashing by, and here comes Rambler.
So Jackson Bell just coming out just in front of Glazer. And, well, all of a sudden we've got a race on our hands here, Tony.
Well, it's Glazer in front of him and Rambler right behind him. So your top three, who we thought were locks, not so much anymore.
And Bell needs to be careful making those kind of moves. They're not allowed in this league, so going down the hanger straight, you can only make one legal move. Probably just testing out the suspension on the car, but being that it's just taking being that it's just taking a fast repair, it should be okay.
Is notorious for not giving you full repair.
That's true. As here comes Rambler now. I'm going to take a look down towards the chicane. Not quite close enough as they go through the chicane, and Bell able to hold on. But Bentley Glazer gifted the lead right here as he's starting to pull away from this battle that's happening right behind him.
It might just be my screen, but does it look like when Bell goes through the left-handers? What's that?
Glazer just got into the back of Byron Rodney. It looked like Glazer just... Rodney was going slow through the corner and Glazer just... punting him out of the way, or Glazer didn't realise that Rodney was going slower than normal and... got into the back of him.
He was going slower than normal. It was just one of those, I gotta go.
That it does is the top three are pretty much all on top of each other now, and this is an actual race for your race win here, and 15 laps to go. My money's probably got to be on Rambler at this point. Glazer's probably got some front wing damage now, and Jackson Bell probably a bit shaken from that hit he had, despite having that big lead he had before.
Well, what I was going to say is watch the left front wheel on Bell's car when he goes through the left-handers. Is that rising up on your screen, or is it just an optical delusion on my part?
Let me take a look at his camera.
He might still have suspension damage on that car.
Might be an optical illusion. It looks fine from my camera angle.
Your top three in lockstep right now as Glazer showing the way in the all-black number 87. Jackson Bell under heavy pressure right now from Scott Rambler. And just throw a blanket over your top three.
Yeah, and this is the race that we should have had at the start of the evening when the green flag came out, but didn't get it as everybody spread out pretty quickly. But now we have a battle on our hands with 14 laps to go. The top three all together as all three of them run wide coming through cops.
And the thing is, I don't know if any of the three can actually make it from here.
I don't think they can, because it's, 13, 14 laps on a tank could go fast, so...
Right. I mean, the longest we saw anybody stay out was Kevin O'Brien, who stayed out 15 laps. And these guys are already 4 laps into a stint. Glazer throws it to the inside, going through the going through the right-hander, leaves the door open for Rambler as well, and Glazer cannot defend, drops it back to third.
Yeah, so Glazer from first to third, as here comes Rambler, now looking for a chance to get around Jackson Bell, but as we've seen from Daytona, Tony, Jackson Bell is not the easiest person to get around, even if he's got damage on his car.
Absolutely, he was fighting tooth and nail on the high-speed high banks of Daytona on the road course, and still brought it home on the podium with damage.
And part of his side pod was hanging off, wasn't it? So
yes, it was. Part of the side pod was hanging off. The under tray was completely destroyed. As he starts to stretch his legs now, Scott Rambler not able to hold pace down the front straightaway.
Yeah, I wonder if Rambler's still probably carrying some damage from earlier, but seems to be doing okay. It looks like Bentley Glazer doesn't have the pace to keep up with these guys. He might actually have some aero damage on the front of the car from that hit with Byron Rodney, because he's not able to keep up with these two now.
He does. If you look close, you can see a little bit of a crinkle in the front wicker of that front wing.
Yeah, so Glazer not able to keep up, and this is a fast-paced track. You need your aero. It's a low aero track, so you need gear speed to get around here, and Bentley Glazer with that damage on the front of his car, not able to keep up now. Vigera's just been in pit road. He's he's not very comfortably in P4 because look who's creeping up behind him there, Tony.
Jaws himself, Jeff Hollingsworth, within 2 seconds now, as they have both done their money stop.
Yeah. So Jeff Hollingsworth creeping up behind Vigera, trying to move up to P4 as we go back to the lead battle here, and it's all on between these two, Bell and Ramler. Ramler's got the pace. We've seen him before. We've seen him win races in Top Fuel before, and I hate this glitch that they have with the drivers right now, with the being so low down in the cockpit and horribly disfigured and stuff. Look at Ramler's cockpit.
Do I have to?
It's so low down. They're so low down in the cockpit right now.
The hell?
Exactly.
What Danica Patrick must have seen when she was driving.
Well, she did drive a green car for a while, so yeah.
I rest my case.
But actually, Bell's starting to get away from Ramler now, so this might actually work in his favor. 12 laps to go. We're coming to 11 laps to go. As Bell almost outbreaks himself going into the first chicane. Back to the battle between Vigera and Hollingsworth, and Hollingsworth has actually lost a bit of time to Vigera there. Slowly ticking this race down as we're almost ready to get this one finished. I like that paint. I like that.
Starting to heat up.
Battle for 6. Ooh, between Phillips and Loveridge. Yeah, you see right there.
Phillips makes it happen through the last corner, keeps his foot down, going down the front straightaway, and starts to distance himself from Loveridge. Loveridge did not get the greatest drive out of the switchback.
And the battle between Bell and Ramler is right behind them as well.
Yeah, so those two guys are going to have to be kind of careful because it's a battle for position for 6 that might hold up this battle for the lead.
Yeah, so everybody's had problems there tonight. It's just been problems for everybody, especially for your leaders. They've both had spins, they've both had incidents and things like that, so nobody's come away clean from this race. As 11 laps to go, can everybody make it cleanly to the checkered flag? That's the question.
True story, but that was Loveridge just getting the heck out of the way.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. These guys are going tooth and nail for this last part of the race.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be that guy.
Not really.
And we all know what we mean when I say that guy.
Yeah, I can hear you do. I can actually hear you doing air quotes while you're saying that.
Yeah. And in case you aren't familiar with what I mean by that, it's, you know, somebody...
Ramler's in.
And Rambler, for his money stop, he's going to need to do a splash and go. Jackson Bell going to have to do the same thing before this race is over.
That was a late entry into pit road as well.
Just barely got it woed down in time. Glazer stays out. Glazer might be trying to stretch this, as that's a big ask, though.
Yeah, Bell just got a decent gap over Glazer, so he's okay with Glazer. It's whether he can cover off Ramler, and he might bring it in this time around to cover off the 61. We'll find out in a minute. It's
and it looked like Rambler did not take tires, just took fuel.
So
that car never went up on the jacks.
So we're going to see now. Does Jackson Bell take tires when he brings it to pit road? He's only just come out of the first chicane, so not quite there yet. These cars are a lot slower than the Formula 1 cars that go around here on a yearly basis, so they don't get around in the lower times that their faster compatriots usually do.
Well, if you take a look at what Rambler did in that last pit stop, he was 7.1 in the box. Which for Formula One fans, that seems slow, but you figure, these guys, and yep, there it goes, Jackson Bell in pit.
So here we go. This is the battle on pit road now to see who is going to come out on top as Bentley Glazer comes out the final turn, and he's going to bring it in as well. So it's all down to Ramler now to see if he can get out ahead of, get the undercut on Jackson Bell. He's only just coming through the last two sections, last two corners now, as Jackson Bell takes tyres. Oh, this is going to be close.
Bell down and away, and here comes Ramler.
Yeah, Ramler just coming down towards Cops now, but Bell is going to make it out of pit road just ahead of him. So Bell, even though he took tyres, still manages to get out of pit road ahead of Ramler. Now that might work in Bell's advantage here, because Bell took tyres, Ramler did not.
Exactly, and Bell's going to once he gets those tires up to temperature, he's going to be able to throw it into those corners a little bit harder, as we're going to be 8 laps to go this coming time across the stripe.
Bell was only 6.9 seconds in his box as well, which is strange considering he took tyres.
Well, he didn't take a full boat of fuel. He took just enough fuel to get to the finish.
Yeah.
Which means don't expect any burnout. Cold tires almost coming back to bite the leader.
That really did nearly come back to bite him, as he almost lost it coming out of the second chicane. That's a very notorious corner to lose it out of. I've done it a few times when I've raced around here. As looks like Ramler,
where the track starts to undulate as far as elevation change. You come over that little rise, and it's almost the same effect as trying to drive Mid-Ohio Sports Car Park.
Yeah, it looks like Ramler not able to cope with Bell right now. I wonder if Ramler's probably saving something for the last couple of laps here.
I'm thinking it's the new tires. Because Bell's got a good lap on those tires now. Those tires are starting to come up to temperature. He's able to start to push a whole lot harder than he was as he starts to stretch his legs over Ramler now, as Glazer 10.5 seconds back.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time in that pit stop. I'm not really sure what happened there.
He was only 5.1 in his box and 27.9 cone to cone.
Yeah, so Glazer losing a lot of time for his pit stops. Not really sure why, as he puts a lap on Tony Phillips. Got a decent gap over Vigera, though, who's managed to completely drop Hollingsworth now. As Vigera coming out of the final corner towards the start-finish line. Hollingsworth going to do the same now, as Hollingsworth actually going to bring it to pit road. So final pit stop there for Hollingsworth, and Jari Brupatcher, who's 19 seconds off, actually he's 27 seconds off of Hollingsworth, so Hollingsworth can get in and out and still be ahead of Brupatcher, I think.
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
But Brupatcher, the last car being shown on the lead lap currently.
Oh, Glazer's had an incident. Oh, a big incident. He's damaged. He's all torn up. Let's take a look. Coming through the second chicane, exactly where Jackson Bell lost it, and he lost it himself exactly through there, and smacks the concrete wall just by the bridge. And that car is crabbing.
Yeah, there's a heavy right rear suspension damage on the number 87 right now. And I don't know if he's going to be able to continue much longer in this race. He is way off the pace right now, and that could hand the podium over to Vigera. I don't know if Glazer's already burned his fast repair. We're about to find out as he's in pit road.
Yeah, he's in his box right now. And he does take his fast repair, so he will get out ahead of Vigera. So lucky break there for Bentley Glazer to have that fast repair in his pocket. But Vigera just coming through the start-finish straight now. I think Vigera still has to pit again, as Ramler's had a crash as well. What's happened to Ramler here? It's at the second chicane again.
He got into it with Mark McFadden.
Oh, no. So that's effectively handed the race win to Jackson Bell now, barring that he doesn't have an incident now. But he had he had a big lead.
Luckily, is going to be able to get that front wing fixed. But yeah, that's pretty much race over for Ramler.
Yeah, but we've seen before Jackson Bell's had a big lead and thrown it away. Hope he doesn't do that again. He did it. He had a big lead at Pocono as well, if you remember, Tony, and he had an incident shortly before the end of the race, and that gave Rick Ravon, who's no longer with the league, the win. As Vigera has had an incident as well, so the top five having all kinds of problems here. And again, for the third time in a row, it's down at the second chicane, Tony.
This is turning into a race like a Watkins Glen race that we broadcast about a year and a half ago now. That nobody wanted to win.
Oh, is that the one where Safka wrecked and still came back and won?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that wasn't actually that long ago. Actually, was it almost a year ago?
Coming up on a year ago.
Yeah. So Jackson Bell now with an 8-second lead over Ramler. Bentley Glazer and now has an 18-second lead over Vigera after his spin. And Jared Bropacha is the last man in the top five. He's 1.7 seconds ahead of Jeff Hollingsworth. But the interesting thing to note is that Hollingsworth is on fresh tyres. Bropacha is on, I believe, 10-lap old tyres now.
8.
Okay. So Bropacha might be a sitting duck here once Jeff Hollingsworth gets to him.
Safe bet. As we are 5 to go. And what just happened to Jackson Bell?
Oh no, as Jackson Bell has had another incident and he's damaged. He's got some pretty... I think he's got some damage. Let's go back and see what's happened to him. And oh, he lost it going... Oh, he got into it with Hollingsworth as well, it looked like. I'm going to try and get a better camera angle on that one because it was... And it was...
He lost it on his own, and then Hollingsworth got into the left rear. So, yeah, left rear suspension damage on the 25 of Jackson Bell right now.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, with that Watkins Glen race a while back, it seems like it's a race that nobody wants to win right now. And, yeah, you can see that car is crap, and he's going to have to bring that in. And he's already burned his fast repair, so this might be night done for Jackson Bell. As he makes his way through the final couple of corners. And Jackson Bell goes around again. That might be night done for Jackson Bell. Big problems there for him. As that's going to give Bentley Glazer second place. And sorry, Tony. Oh,
Sam.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, my TeamSpeak crashed again. But yeah, Jackson Bell. It's got to be night over for him. He's struggling to keep that car in a straight line, and look who's right behind him now. Oh, it's not Bentley Glazer, that's Tony Phillips, I apologise, but Jackson Bell, you got to think that his night might be over at this point.
Safe bet. Because I think he's already burned his fast repair, because I believe he tagged a hay bale earlier.
Yeah, he lost it coming through the final part of the course, and smacked the Armco barrier, and that wrecked his car, and he wasn't able to he had to bring it back into pit road and get a fast repair. But Bell, that car is just crapping so badly, he needs to bring it into pit road. And I think he's just completely finished it off there, and there it is. Jackson Bell is out of this race now, and that is going to put Bentley Glazer up to second place now. And Bentley Glazer actually already passed him, already passed Jackson Bell before that incident happened. So Glazer up to second. Vigera on his debut with Sim Racers Edge is going to get a podium. So great run for that number 23 machine. He's got to be very proud with how he's ran tonight, despite all the incidents he's had.
Absolutely, and I would like to point out too, as far as iRacing licenses go, He's only a D class on the road racing side.
Yeah, so very impressive.
That's very impressive to put one on the podium your first time out with such a talented group as the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series.
Yeah, Jackson Bell himself is only a I think it's a C class road or something like that. So
correct. So you got Scott Rambler, A class, Bentley Glazer, C class, Jose Vergara, D class, Yari Brudpatcher, C class, Jackson Bell, C class, Bruce Rivers, who did take the green tonight, C class, and then Tyler Bloom, still a rookie on the road racing side, arguably a oval specialist, but cutting his teeth here on the road racing side of things, as it'll be popsicle sticks in the air this coming time across the stripe for your leader, Scott Rambler.
That's if he can keep the lead.
That was Sam Scott. Oh yeah, there you go.
See what I mean?
Curse. As he gets it all twisted and drifts the final corner. So 2 laps to go. All Rambler's got to do is just keep it under him with a 43.5-second lead over Bentley Glazer right now. Glazer 25 seconds to the good over Jose Vergara, who's another 25 seconds to the good over Yari Brudpatcher. Brudpatcher, the first car 1 lap down, sits in 4th place.
And he's 9 seconds ahead, made that 10 seconds ahead of Jeff Hollingsworth as the last driver in the top 5, and he's a good 25 seconds ahead of Tony Phillips, who, apart from that big wreck he had with Yari Brudpatcher, still going, and he's kept his car clean since he had to burn his fast repair, so good going for Tony Phillips, as Byron Rodney's had another incident.
Currently sitting in the number 8 slot.
And so the chicanes again.
Of course.
Thankfully didn't hit any. He's been spinning a lot, but he hasn't hit anything tonight, so.
Yet. As Mark McFadden sits in 9th. Jackson Bell currently being scored in 10th, but Tyler Bloom, the last car, still running. Only 1 lap back, so Bloom could get a top 10 before the night's out.
Yeah, Bloom just took that 10th place away from Jackson Bell, according to my time in the scoring. So Bloom up to the top 10 now, and it's got to be more relief than happiness for Bloom, because he's had a lot of incidents as the white flag is now in the air, Tony.
So Rambler just has to keep it straight for another 3 miles and 16 more turns here at the Silverstone circuit, the Murray Walker Memorial for the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series. As this has turned into, like we mentioned, the race that nobody wanted to win. Rambler led a lot of early laps, got caught with a penalty early, dropped back a little bit, fell as low as 6th at one point early on. Bentley Glazer had led some laps, and Jackson Bell, who led quite a bit of this race, unfortunately, the bad luck bug bit him again, and he is going to come home with an 11th place finish as Rambler just has to keep it under him for a few more corners.
That's pretty academic.
6 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty academic at this point, as he's got a 47-second lead over Glazer. Even if he spins now, he's still going to make it back on track ahead of him. So Bentley Glazer going to come, Rambler going to come out of the final turn down towards the line, and Rambler wins the Murray Walker Memorial here at Silverstone. And boy, did he...
He earned that one.
You know, this race reminds me of the 1982 Monaco Grand Prix, where whoever led the race crashed, and the person that crashed first out of the leaders was the winner eventually. I think it was Riccardo Patrese, who led a few laps and then spun it. Still came back and won it because everybody who passed him and led the race crashed out ahead of him. So That's pretty much the same as what's happened to Scott Ramler here compared to what happened in that race back then.
Absolutely, and if you ever want a good laugh, go take a look at the video of Riccardo Patrese taking his wife around. I believe it was here at Silverstone that he did it. They were in a passenger car. She was sitting in the passenger seat. He was driving, and he just honked on a lap. And she lost her mind.
Yeah, I can see how that can be a thing. Right, as the remainder of the drivers are making their way around the final part of this track, as Vigera is going to get a fantastic third place here in his first ever Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series race. Fantastic result for him. Barapacha is going to cross the line. Well, he's nowhere near the line right now. He's still making his way through the final part of the course, and he's still behind your race winner. Actually, he's already finished, so because he finished behind Ramler. So we're going to get an interview in with your race winner. One second now as I the things as Ramler is going to do some burnouts on the start finish straight.
Well, he's got enough fuel to do it. Scott Ramler, Tony Trapasso, ESPN, you got me, sir.
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Congratulations on the victory here tonight. We were starting to wonder what else could have possibly have gone wrong for the three of you guys who were leading most of this race tonight. Between yourself, Jax Bell, and Bentley Glazer, it almost appeared like none of the three of you really wanted to win before all was said and done.
Yeah, I can tell you this. That was an absolute mess from beginning to end. I mean, first pit stop, my fuel decided to take itself all the way down to 0.3 of a gallon, so it only put in 0.3 of a gallon on my pit stop, so I had to pit again. I ran into the back of I think it was Bentley. I think I ran him right up the rear end because I misjudged where he was going to be in the corner, so I apologized to him for that. And I don't know what happened with Jackson, but he should have had this thing won by like 50 seconds. It should have been no question about it, and we just had lap cars getting in the way, running into them because they were being unpredictable, and it was just a mess all the way through. I'm just glad to be over with it.
Well, I know that it was definitely a hard-fought victory. You took pole here tonight. You're one of the only drivers to go sub 130 around here all night long. So how difficult was the course itself, barring any other cars out there?
The course itself really isn't that bad. I've run Silverstone quite a few times. It just seemed like the setup was naturally tight, so you'd go into the corner, have to put a ton of wheel into it, and try to pick up the throttle, and it would spin on you in the slow corners, and the corners where you were running with a lot more speed, it just wouldn't bite in the front end. Once you got behind somebody, it just didn't want to turn in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you were able to survive all 42 laps here at Silverstone for the Murray Walker Memorial. Closing thoughts as we get ready to leave here.
I just want to thank you guys for broadcasting. Anybody that tuned in to watch tonight, it is as much bad as I have to say for how this race went tonight. It still was a lot of fun, so don't take that the wrong way. Thanks to everybody at SRE for putting everything on, and I'm just glad that it's over, to be honest.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be even happier next week when we return to the ovals.
We'll see how it goes there. I haven't run the DW12 on an oval in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you next week, and best of luck to you then.
All right, thank you.
That was Scott Ramler in the booth. Now joining myself is Bentley Glazer. And Bentley, we just had the conversation with with Scott there, and it seemed like it was a race for you, Jackson, and Scott there, that nobody just wanted to win here tonight.
Yeah, there were a lot of mistakes from everybody that kind of made it close. I definitely didn't have the speed as those guys, and I'm just here learning on these Indy cars, and it's a lot of fun. But I'm very happy to be on the lead lap and second. Can't ask for much more.
Yeah, and after a tough start to the season at Pocono, you had a good result last time out at Kentucky. You got another good result here tonight at Silverstone. Your season in the Bravo Series, at least, pretty much starting to pick up now.
Yeah, I hope so. Just hopefully, I'm here to get seat time for, learn this season how everything works. And these cars are hard to save, that's for sure, once you get sideways. And hopefully, next season I might be able to keep up a little better. But definitely just learning here this year.
Well, definitely going to be a good a learning scope for you as well, especially with the Alpha Series coming to Silverstone later in the season. So definitely going to be a good learning experience for yourself, right?
Definitely, yeah. And this is a lot of fun. I hope to just get a little better at the road racing, and that'd make me happy.
Absolutely, and definitely a good result for yourself, even though everybody else was having problems around you. Even yourself had a few problems, but next week we're back on the ovals as we go to Texas. We go to Legacy, Texas. What are your thoughts going into that one?
Like all the races so far, just trying to learn how to pass, how to get out of that air and make things happen.
All right, and before I let you go, Bentley, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Thanks to my teammate Jeff Hollingsworth and other teammate Charlie Woods, and thanks you guys up in the booth and the Bravo Series and Alpha Series for having me.
All right, well, Bentley Glazer, second here at Silverstone. Congratulations, and we'll actually catch you on Wednesday when we head to Charlotte in the Alpha Series.
Awesome, that'll be a fun track.
Yeah,
Hope to
will
see
be.
you there.
So that was Bentley Glazer. Now joining Tony from third place is Jose Vigera. Tony?
Jose, your first start with the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series, bringing it home on the podium. Congratulations tonight, sir. Other push to talk button. You're talking in Sim, bud.
I can bring it up in Sim. No worries. Second, just if I can bring it in. Okay, try now.
Jose, you're talking in Sim, bud. But
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear him on the broadcast.
We can hear you now. Just wanted to congratulate you on the podium finish and your first start with the Bravo Series. Talk us through how the race went for you.
I hear you on iRacing, but not too.
The race is very good. The car is very tricky in some corners, but okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm very glad with the podium.
All right. Well, looking forward to seeing what you can do on an oval next week. Congratulations to you, sir. And gracias, mi amigo.
Thank you. I want to do something like that I do today in the oval. The car is very tricky. It's difficult to drive in some corners, but if you drive a lot, you can ride the car. Yeah, I want to drive.
Okay.
Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias. We'll see you next week.
So that was Jose Vigera. Obviously, he hasn't quite figured out the whole TeamSpeak thing yet, but we'll get them sorted out for next time. But Tony, final thoughts on the race here tonight?
I it's kind of what I expected when we came to a road course. There was going to be some distances stretched out at times, but we saw some great battling going on when Glazer, Rambler, and Bell all went into that second to the final pit stop. We saw them come out right on top of each other, and they were in lockstep for better part of 10 laps, right until it seemed like the pressure got to a couple of guys tonight. But Silverstone's not an easy track to get around at pace. And I think that, from top to bottom, this field did a pretty decent job to get these high-powered, rockets around here as well as they did.
Yeah, absolutely. As Tony, I believe we're ready for the results of this race.
So Scott Rambler coming home with the victory here tonight. Bentley Glazer able to hang on for second place. Jose Viguera in his first start with the Sim Racers Edge Bravo Series, rounding out your podium. Final car on the lead lap, I might add. Yari Broadpatcher had a night he'd probably just as soon forget, being the first car one lap down in fourth place. Jeff Hollingsworth able to hang on for fifth. Tony Phillips in sixth. Shane Loveridge in seventh. And Byron Rodney hanging on for eighth. Sam?
Yeah, ninth going to Mark McFadden, 10th going to Tyler Bloom, so good result for him in the end, even though he was 3 laps down. Jackson Bell had it all right there. He had a massive lead, but threw it all away, unfortunately, and really damaged his car at the end there, and unfortunately unable to make it to the end of the race, so he has to settle with P11 after all that. Kevin O'Brien, one of the first retirements in the field was in P12. Bruce Rivers in P13. William Fletcher down at Brazington in the race control booth. Carl Burke, Charles Woods, and Tim Bates did not start this race.
So all in all, pretty decent start to the season so far. We're 3 races in. As the Alpha Series will be returning this coming Wednesday, as you mentioned, at Charlotte, and I believe they're on the Roval.
Yes, they are.
So that's going to be something to definitely tune in for on Wednesday night. You can see all the coverage here on ESPN, as Frank Marchese and I will be in the booth for that one. And tomorrow night we have
nothing.
You're right. We don't. We are off tomorrow night. So I believe that's going to just about do it for us here for the Murray Walker Memorial here from the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit in lovely Silverstone, England. For Sam Cooper Bennett, this is Tony Trapasso saying, ladies and gentlemen, remember, as you walk down the road of life, don't play in traffic.